Whether it is for the beautifully painted walls or the speedy travel time, this bustling Swedish subway system carries around 462 million passengers a year to their destinations around the city. Tunneling beneath the concrete is the Stockholm metro system. On the surface, this method of transportation is near and dear to the hearts of the locals. However, upon digging into its seemingly joyful past, one story stands out. This is the story of the Silver Train of Stockholm. Upon construction beginning in 1944 and the grand opening in 1950, a new form of travel had opened much of Stockholm to the public. The metro system, still in operation to this day, has grown to become a rapid transit system with over 100 stations throughout the city. However, if we take a trip back in time, we will see the birth of a ghost story that has changed Stockholm's legend forever. The year is 1965, and the Stockholm metro system just purchased 8 peculiar and rather experimental subway cars to add to the fleet. Not much is known about these cars, but one can assume that the metro was simply experimenting to further develop the CX family, which had been going strong since the creation of the C1 in 1949. The cars purchased fell into the C5 generation. While there were 8 of them, only 7 ever seemed complete, finished with a coat of green paint. The final car, however, was left unpainted, revealing the raw aluminum finish underneath. This strange appearance, along with the fact that it started operation at 3 a.m. each night, were both key ingredients in the perfect storm of a scary tale. According to Kristoffer Sandahl, the director of the Swedish Tramway Museum, if you got on board the Silver Arrow, you didn't get taken to any station. You just traveled and traveled and traveled and never got out. The Silver Arrow Sandahl refers to here is the ghostly, unpainted subway car, which had at this point become known by this name. Along with this came a tale. The legend goes that the Silver Arrow is a train used to transport souls to the underworld, or the land of the dead. There have been supposed reports of victims stepping onto this train and being surrounded by deceased passengers, while others say they are entirely alone. The sad part here is that according to legend, these each meant something very different. If you were the only one aboard, the train had arrived specifically for you, unfortunately dooming you to either spend eternity on the train or to pass away. However, if you were lucky enough to step onto the Silver Arrow and be surrounded by rotting corpses, you are not going to die, at least not yet. The story of the Silver Arrow is scary, but by a strange connection, it goes further. Some say if you are able to survive the ride itself, the troubles do not end when it comes to a halt, but rather they can be much worse. This is because the Silver Arrow train car is said to only stop at one station, the Chimlinge station. According to the story, there once was a girl, let's call her Molly. Well, one night, Molly had been to a local disco spot in central Stockholm. She is believed to have a few too many at the disco, so being the responsible young lady Molly was, she'd made the decision to take the metro home instead of driving. There was only one issue: it was late. She needed to get to T Centralen, the equivalent of the Grand Central Station in Manhattan, but due to the time of night, it seemed only one train came. That's right, the illustrious Silver Arrow. Upon boarding, she quickly realized something was off with the passengers on board. After dismissing this as a potential side effect from her night out, Molly sat down. She rode and rode, becoming increasingly more anxious about where she was or where she was headed. Her fears reached their climax and she pulled the emergency brake, but to no avail. When she finally realized that there was nothing she could do, she gave up hope. The train eventually did come to a stop. Relieved, Molly stepped off as soon as she could. However, it didn't take long for her to realize something. It was silent, dead silent. Molly thought to herself, this can't be right. So in order to keep herself from panicking, she started to look around the area. She quickly saw the name of the station on a nearby sign. It read, Chimlinge. As the other passengers continued to exit the train slowly, she noticed that they were going up a set of stairs. Against her better judgment, she followed. At the top of the stairs, there was a locked door. Unsure of what was going on, she seemingly missed the most terrifying detail of the entire situation. The other passengers, whom she now came to realize were the undead, were going through the sealed door as if it were not even there. She panicked and blacked out. After disappearing for a decent amount of time, Molly's family, understandably, reported her missing. After a week of searching, she was found at the Chimlinge metro station, reportedly scared out of her wits. After hearing this story, I decided to dig further and do my own research. I found out that the construction of the Chimlinge metro station took place around the same time as the purchase of the SL C5 cars. While this may seem to be coincidental, allow me to share with you why I think it isn't. Both the SL-C5 subway car purchase and the construction of the Chimlinge metro station were initially put into place as one grander experiment. You see, there were plans for a large suburb to be put into the area in the 1970s. Due to the potential size of the suburb and how many people could be going there, the Stockholm metro system was prompted to begin testing the best equipment for the situation. However, the reason the station was ultimately left abandoned was identical to why it was created. The expansion of the suburb and the area surrounding Chimlinge station was completely scrapped, leaving the station unfinished ever since. Interestingly enough, there were discussions of continuing construction at the beginning of the 21st century, but even those plans were eventually discarded. The story of the Silver Arrow is a rather interesting one. I think the concept is captivating. It serves as a strong warning to anyone who could be caught in a much nastier and very real situation. Unfortunately, however, I fear that the tale of the Silver Arrow may begin to fade as time goes on. As it is for all things, the story will come and it will go with future generations. But only one question will remain. Is it true? Personally, I think the story of Molly holds some validity. However, I struggle to envision it being entirely true. I personally do not find the concept of the underworld to be quite accurate. While I do believe one goes somewhere upon death, that's a story for another video. While proof confirming that the Silver Train of Stockholm carries its passengers to an eternal destination remains unseen, it is impossible to wonder if there really are paths to the afterlife, hidden right under our noses, waiting for the day a weary traveler stumbles just a bit too far off the beaten path. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, folks, that is all. I'm Zach, and this is Cited.